Hey there! Well, my friends, this is my 200th video, and don't worry, I'm not nearly done, but I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you for your support. There are people out there who watch one or two of my videos for pens they, I guess, want to purchase, and that is great. And then there are some of you who watch all of my videos and comment on nearly all of my videos. And clearly, you guys are very, very important. If a writer writes a book and nobody reads it, then it was pointless to write the book. If I make these videos and no one watches them, then that would be pointless. But I am very fortunate to have a loyal fan base who really seems to enjoy the videos I make, and for that I'm extremely grateful. Currently I have more than 2,000 subscribers. I never expected that, in all honesty. I thought maybe just 2 or 3 people would watch the videos, and I'm really not being falsely modest here, that's really what I thought. And I thought that today I would try and answer a few questions that I get quite a lot. Comments or private messages via YouTube or whatever. Some of those will be about pens and some of those will be about me. So I'm not going to review a pen here. If that's what you're looking for and you're only interested in that, then you can switch off this video now. We've lost those. Okay, good. So the first question is, why do you make these videos? Well, it's the short story is this. During Christmas 2010 I started to collect pens a little bit more seriously than I'd been doing up to that point. I got into contact with Brian Goulet, and I contacted him at some point and said, I have got something that you don't sell, which is a Visconti traveling inkwell. And he said, yeah, I know the thing, but I've never seen it in action. And I thought, well, I could do a YouTube video on that. That's what I did. It was watched by a couple of people, including Brian Goulet, who was very enthusiastic. And that sort of inspired me to do another one. And then another one. And then I did an overview video at some point of all the pens I had at that point. Now I guess I own about 10 times as many, but then I had about 10, 12, something like that. And I just did an overview video, and people responded very positively to that. And then I started to pick the pens one by one, and I did reviews of those. I didn't really have an idea of what I was doing. I don't think there was a very clear format I stuck to. I didn't do any writing samples because I didn't have a camera at that time that could actually be pointed at the paper. But still, people were enthusiastic, and there were, as I just said, sort of hardcore people who watched all of these videos and commented upon them, and that was very, very nice. And then I think one crucial event was the Tilburg Pen Show. One of my earliest viewers actually pointed me in that direction and said, I will be there. He was from Germany. And, if you want to come, then maybe we can bring a couple of pens and try out some stuff. And I said, sure. I've had a lot of fun on that show. It really was. Tilburg is not a big show. And I think this guy and I, we spent more than 2 hours just sitting there trying out each other's pens. He has a huge collection. I brought my pens. We tried them out. It was great. So if you've never been to a pen show, I think I've said this before, but do try to go there once if it fits in with your time and your budget and all that, because you will meet a lot of like-minded people, which is really, really nice. And then I tried some pens that he had that I immediately loved. The Hommage 360, the original model, the TWSBI Diamond 540, the Faber-Castell Emotion, and one by one I purchased those, and then I just really set off. So that was a very nice event, and it's just been extremely nice and pleasant to do these reviews. I have found the fountain pen community to be a very open-minded crowd of people who really welcome others, who are nice to each other. There's not a lot of flaming or bad stuff going on there in general, so that I think is very, very nice. So that's the reason to do these videos. Now, One question that I get a lot is, which is your favorite pen? I have it right here. Visconti Opera Elements. It's very difficult to choose a favorite, and you know, this is probably a tie with some others. But if I were to pick one pen that I could keep, and I wouldn't take sentimental reasons or other stuff into account, then this would be it. First of all, it looks cool. I mean, just look at it. It's like a candy cane. It's amazing. They came in 4 colors. This is the red one. Just look at it's very smooth, so it's not real texture. But look at the structure on there. I'll put it a bit close to the camera. I know it won't focus, but you will still see what a nice stuff that's going on there. I mean, it's like marble. I think it's beautiful. The nib, nice, large, 14 karat gold, smooth, medium, but most of all springy. This really has some nice springiness to it. And that's why I love this pen. So I think it's great. I think it looks great. It writes great. That's all there's to it. One question I get, and I've already tried to address that in a separate video, but do I have to buy an expensive pen if I want a good pen? No. Check out my video on I forget the name. I've done too many. Are expensive pens worth it? I think that's the title of the video. No, this is a, I don't know, €5 pen or something. Parker Jota. That's a pretty good pen. This was not €5, but it's another good pen. Here I have a vintage pen. Got this as a gift, but you know, if you would buy this, you would pay a bit more than €5. That's for sure. That's good. What works is a pen that you like. That's the pen for you. If you see something, you like it, then you know that will be a good pen. Which pen has the smoothest nib ever? That's a question I get a lot. I think this is asked mostly by people who are looking to buy the first pen, and you know, maybe have 1 or 2 and they really want to invest in a very good one. My friends, I love to help, but that is a question I cannot answer. First of all, I haven't sampled every single fountain pen in the world, even though it sometimes seems to be the case, but really it's not the case. I just don't know. I really don't know. This depends on the material of the nib, but more importantly, the paper you use, the way you write, the ink you use, the way you hold the pen, the width of the nib. If I get a pen in broad, then you know, and you get it in fine, then mine is probably a bit smoother than yours. That's just the way these nibs work. I cannot say that. So feel free to keep asking those questions, but there is no answer. Which pen is better, X or Y? Well, again, there are so many parameters to take into account there. I mean, again, how do you hold it? How big is your handwriting? What paper do you use? What do you use it for? Do you take daily notes? Do you just write a grocery list? I can only give you my opinion based on the looks of the pen and the way I think the pen feels, but that's it. So it's not a black and white thing here. It's a very large gray area. Okay, and then one question that I get a lot, I think I've had it 2 or 3 times in the last 2 weeks, is this one. What the hell is this? Well, this is very complicated, but I'll try to explain it in as few words as I can. I love Orthodox Church music, mostly Greek, Russian too, Melkite music, some Georgian chant, Bulgarian chant, some Romanian chant. Coptic doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's beautiful, but it's just not something that appeals to me. And you know, there's a whole bunch of, I think I have about 200 Orthodox CDs or something. So apparently I like the stuff. This thing, the sound, ananes, is not an Orthodox hymn, but it's from a Greek Orthodox tradition. In the Orthodox Church, the Mass that is celebrated has some parts that rotate, specific hymns that are sung at specific times, and some parts of the Mass are fixed. They are celebrated during every celebration of the Mass. Those hymns that are sung every time, you have to realize that monks, and back in the day when people all went to churches every day, that gets boring very quickly, because if you sing the same hymn every time, it gets boring. So there was a saint who devised a solution. He created the octoechos, the 8 tones. Sometimes people say tones, sometimes they say mode. Officially, mode is the better word. A mode is a collection of melodic formulas. Now, this, you could write a whole book about that, so please accept the following statement as being true. In principle, you can sing every hymn in each of the 8 modes. Because the Byzantine tonal notation system is relative, we have a fixed system. If you put this note on that line of the bar, it will be that tonal height. In the Byzantine system, it's different. You put a little symbol above every syllable, and that indicates whether you go up, as compared to the previous syllable, down, stay on the same note, go 2 up, 2 down, add a flutter, etc. So, depending on which note you start, you can change the melody of the hymn by following these little symbols. And since we have 8 modes, there are 8 notes in the Byzantine chant system, and every mode starts on 1 note. And as I said, it's a relative system, so if you start on a high note and the next step is to go down 1 note, or if you start on a very low note and the next step is to go down, then you will actually go up. You go to the first note, and this really changes the rhythm and the melody of the hymn you're singing. I hope that was a little clear. This is really difficult stuff. Oliver Strunk wrote a very good book on Byzantine music. So if you need more information, look that one up. Now, there is a psaltis, or proto-psaltis, if he's a very high-rank chanter, who is like a choir master in the Orthodox Church. And he indicates to the choir that's going to sing a specific hymn in which mode it will be sung during that specific week, or day, or mass, or whatever. To do that, a system was developed of tonal indicators. Tonal indicators are nothing more than a collection of random syllables. Ananes, ananeanes, nes, legeto, and you've got a whole bunch of them which are used. So this is one, the one that I start all my videos with. Here is another one. Here is yet another one. So that's just a bunch of these things. Because I love Greek Orthodox music, I thought it would be interesting to incorporate a bit of that music into my videos. And this is what I did. The one I use is a tonal indicator for the first tone, authentic. So there are 4 authentic modes. Roughly speaking, that's what we would call major scales. And then there are 4 plagals. The plagal of the first, plagal of the second, varis, and plagal of the fourth. Those are roughly what we would call minor tones. The indicator I use is for the authentic first tone, so that's one of the major scales. And it's from a hymn called something like Thy Tomb, O Savior. I am going to say Tu tafo su sotir, but I'm not absolutely sure. That's all there's to it. So it's no strange incantation. I've had that explanation of someone. It's not a Muslim chant. A lot of people seem to think that this is Arab chanting of some kind. Now the Byzantine chant and Arab chant in some ways are related, but that's a whole different discussion. It's not that. It's definitely not some satanic sound. It's really just that, what I've just described. So I hope that clears things a bit up. And that's pretty much all there's to it. If you have any other questions about me or the videos, this is your medium. Write down a comment below and I will answer them. And that's all there's to it. So I hope you keep enjoying my videos. I hope I haven't bored you to death here. And there are many more to come. And I will see you later. Bye bye.